Everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. So we're going to take a little break from Satan's short season verses, and we're going to look at some Bible contradictions. Why am I looking at Bible contradictions? Well, I spent the last 2 days on flat earthers because if you comment on flat earthers, you're just inundated with soccer count trolls. Telling the flat earther that he's wrong, he's illiterate, he needs to go to school, blah blah blah. You've heard it all. I were gonna call them all out and show all the comments, but what's point? These people are clearly insane. I'll just show one comment just so that there's some context why I want to cover Bible contradictions and this one in particular. So we've got this guy, Bachelor, is in comments day in and day out, telling you you're wrong, basically. That, like, these people, think flat earth stupid, think Bible stupid, don't believe in God, but are there every day talking about these things, telling you that you are wrong. If you don't believe in God and Bible, get on with your life. I'm not going round YouTube, going to atheist channels, telling them they're wrong. That there's a serious issue with these people. So this is Bachelor in reply to a comment that has nothing to do with this whatsoever. This tells me that one is really triggered about God and Bible, is scared to death that God's real. These people usually are, because they're living in darkness, and scriptures and Bible and Christians shed light on darkness. These people don't like it. So here we go. Yet the Bible is full of errors and contradictions that men would write. I mean, Bible tells you men wrote it, inspired by God. Yet the Bible is full of errors and contradictions that men would write. How do you reconcile the two ideas? Well, there's no contradiction, so I don't have to reconcile out. Example of error, Leviticus 11:20 to 23. Tell us insects have 4 legs. So, Leviticus 11:20-23 says no such thing. Right? This guy's clearly been on Google looking for Bible contradictions, because you can find websites with all these Bible contradictions in it. Like, when you actually understand Bible and you know how to interpret Bible, you know that there's no such thing as a contradiction in Bible. If you think there's a contradiction in Bible, there's something you are not understanding. You can't expect this guy to even have the faintest idea of what Bible's saying, So yeah, me and Flatzoid spent 2 days answering, and you just get bombarded with questions, and you get answers, and they're just not and with you're illiterate, you're doing acrobatics, it goes on, and it's tiresome. It's really, really tiresome, because these people are telling you that you're stupid and that you're illiterate, you never went to school, blah blah blah, you've heard it all, and then they come with things like this. It's like, where to go telling people they're wrong and that they don't understand things, while you had sat there day in, day out proving that you're illiterate, you don't understand things, you probably didn't go to school. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. So anyway, let's get to Leviticus 11:20 to 23. So we'll read through them all, and then we'll go through each verse. Leviticus 11:20. All fowls that creep, going upon all 4, shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all 4, which have legs above their feet, to eat withal upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination to you. See, this is... Oh, see, Bible saying that insects have 4 legs. No, it's not. It's not at all. You know, Bible's accurate in every manner a thing that it speaks about, right? So let's go through these verses. 11:20. All fowls that creep going upon all 4 shall be an abomination unto you. Right, so all fowls. Fowls is a word that has many meanings, like all Hebrew words and Greek words. They're not the same as English. They have multiple meanings, and the only way you can glean that meaning is from the context of the verses. Translation. Oath. Bird that flieth, flying fowl. Birds, bird, winged fowl, wings. Birds, birds, fowl, winged, wings. Collective of flying creatures, fowl, insects. So this is how you have to understand how fowls are being used. It's not just talking about birds, it's talking about flying insects as well. So the context is, it's just said the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. Bat's a fowl, but it also creeps, and it also goes on all 4. Can bats crawl on all 4s? Yes, whilst most bats are not graceful on the ground, some species like vampire bats can crawl or run on all 4s. Now, I'm not a fowl. I can't fly. I've got 2 legs and 2 arms, but I can go on all 4s and I can crawl. If you look at thesaurus.com, on all 4s, adjective, as in creeping, strong matches, crawling. So 11:20 accurately describes a bat. It's not saying that insects have 4 legs instead of 6. So that's your first failure, bachelor. Yet these may eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all 4, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. So yeah, I forgot to mention the context of Leviticus is like telling you like what you can and can't eat, you know, dietary laws. So it's telling you that you can eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth on all 4, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. And then it goes on to tell you, even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. So 11:21 is telling you that this is a locust or a grasshopper, you know. It goes upon all 4, and it has legs above their feet. We'll get back to this. So you can eat a locust after his kind, a beetle after his kind, and a grasshopper after his kind. Now, kinds in Bible are slightly different to how in modern times we characterize things, you know, like insect. Insect weren't even a word when this were wrote. Anyway, Leviticus 11:23. But all of the flying creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. What this is saying is that some insects that go around on 4 legs, even though they've got 6. Yeah? I bet you didn't know that, did you, bachelor? For instance, brush-footed butterflies. All brush-footed butterflies do have 6 legs, but the first pair of legs is very reduced and are tucked against the thorax and hidden in the body's fuzz. You will only see these legs if you can carefully pry them away from the body with tweezers. So this butterfly is walking around on 4 feet, not 6. because the other two front legs are tucked into the body. You know, it's not using them for walking. Also, we have mantises, 6 legs, only its front 2 legs are what it uses for killing prey and that. And sometimes it'll walk using 6 legs, but in most occasions it'll walk just on 4. Let's have a look. See, front 2 legs aren't touching the floor at all, it's walking on 4. So, again, it's not saying that insects only have 4 legs, but it's clearly saying that there's some of these flying insects that walk around on 4 legs. You know, this is just proof that Bible matches reality. So we were arguing, you know, and I was bringing these points up, and I brought this Oxford academic talking about, you know, the locomotion of hopping locusts and that, and I quoted this: the mechanisms underlying these jumping and kicking movements of the hind legs are basically similar, but are distinct from those used in walking. So it's quite clear that the back jumping legs are distinct. They're used for jumping. Not like the front 4 that are used in walking. And of course, you know, soccer count after soccer count pops up. Oh, you stupid flat earther. You're illiterate. You can't understand what it's saying. It's not saying what you think it's saying. Oh, is it not? I told you. We'd get back to 11:22. Even these of them you may eat, the locust after his kind, and the ball locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind, that's described up here. Every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all 4, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. This is accurately describing a locust and a grasshopper. It's not saying that they've got 4 legs instead of 6. It's describing this. One, 2, 3, 4 legs that it's walking on, and see these back legs, they're not even being used. It's got 6 legs, but it's walking on 4. Just like this citation says, but are distinct from those used in walking. Now, I know these things are really, really triggering for people like you, Bachelor, you know, who really is illiterate, who's really triggered by the Bible and denies God and wants to try his very, very best to make himself feel better that these things don't exist. But I'm sorry, the Bible is not in contradiction. It's not saying insects have 4 legs instead of 6, but it's actually describing reality perfectly. So I'm going to finish off with this paper. Does the Bible really claim that insects only have 4 legs? Wrote by John D. Morris, PhD. And I know you guys love PhDs, don't you? The passage, yet ye may eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all 4, which have legs above their feet, to eat withal upon the earth, including the locust, the beetle, and the grasshopper after his kind. Leviticus 11:21. Took with a list of dietary regulations for the people of Israel, it refers to a number of animals whose exact identification is obscured by antiquity, but let's look closely. First, we must recognise that modern-day taxonomic categories like species, genus, family, etc. are not the same as a biblical kind. Even the term creeping thing finds wide application, meaning, in general, small animals which exist in great numbers. In this chapter, it is used for insects. very small mammals and reptiles, as well as animals which move in the ocean. Likewise, the term flying applies both to flying insects and birds. Obviously, the context and description must take precedence in identification, and in this case, the four-legged insect applies in particular to the grasshopper locust kind. In our modern classification system, all insects have at least 6 legs. They are members of the large and varied arthropod phyla, which includes also the 8-legged spiders, the multi-legged centipedes, as well as crabs, anything with segmented legs. Some insects also have wings, but these don't count as legs. Today, locusts are considered migratory grasshoppers. They all have 2 large hind legs, quite different in appearance, size and function from the front forelegs. Their front legs are used for crawling, clinging and climbing, while their back legs rest above their front legs and feet and are used for jumping. Furthermore, the Hebrew word translated beetle actually comes from the verb to leap, implying a similar leaping insect, not our modern beetle. Thus, the biblical description of grasshoppers turns out to be exactly anatomically correct. Far from being an embarrassment to Bible believers, this passage bears sterling testimony to the accuracy and inspiration of Scripture. As always, arguments which claim that the Bible is wrong are themselves wrong, and the Bible still stands. You see, Bachelor, smarter people than you have tried to debunk the Bible, and it still stands to this day, undebunked. You can cry contradictions. These are all your misunderstandings, not mine. I can read Bible, I am literate, I did go to school, and I learn what things mean in Bible. I don't go round to atheists telling them they're wrong like you come to me telling me I'm wrong. But if you're going to come and tell me I'm wrong, you better be sure you're right, mate. Let's just quickly have another look at this, this locust walking on 4 legs that you tell me I'm stupid for saying, that this citation didn't back me up because I'm illiterate and stupid flirt. Didn't bother to read rest on it. I don't need to read rest on it. I just cite the part that backs up what I'm saying, and it backs up what I'm saying perfectly. So, I hope this is a learning curve for you, Bachelor, but we all know that you'll just hand-wave, deny the usual bullshit, and you'll be back in comments next day and day after, rinsing and repeating. But you're not smart. You're not affecting my faith or anybody else's faith. These supposed Bible contradictions are easily dealt with. Because there are no contradictions. That's why it's easy to deal with. You think you can mock God. You think God, the creator of everything, is wrong. We're a tiny little man to say things like that, But you come with all your arrogance and your pride and you think that you gain one up on a flat earther. Well, no, mate. You're not. You're stupid. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And you're going to love next one because we're going to deal with Brazen Sea. And did Bible really get pi wrong? See you on the next one.